Guys, what's up? So I was realizing something as I was rewatching the video I made yesterday about this post. Okay. Um, well, I posted something else, but this is super important, guys. So Jesus represents the fourth age of Pisces, the last 2,001 years, which is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is ruled by Pisces, and Jesus represents Jupiter because it's the crescent over the cross, and the crescent is the subconscious spiritual world, and the cross equals earth and materiality. Whereas if we flip Jupiter upside down, you get the cross on top, which is materialism, over the crescent, which is spirituality. And Satan in Capricorn is all about materialism, money, government, law, rule, order, fascism. Hitler was an Aries Taurus cusp, so he's April 20th. Yeah, he ruined that day forever. And so he's born 420, so he has an attitude problem. Aries attitude with Taurus stubbornness is one of the worst combos. Sorry, I'm astrologically prejudiced. But he had Moon and Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, so Hitler was Aries Taurus cups with our power issues, and he had Moon and Jupiter in Capricorn, him wanting power and authority and government. Anyway, if you notice what I put here, Jupiter is a 4 because it's the fourth age of Pisces, and Saturn hides the 5 because that's the fifth age coming. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and the planet Uranus, but also Saturn. It has a double rulership because Uranus wasn't discovered till 1843. And then Capricorn is only Saturn. It's not ruled by Uranus at all, so it's more strict and oppressive, whereas Aquarius has its rules, but we're still open-minded and free-spirited. So here it is, the zodiacal age. It goes backwards, the precession, whereas our months go, Aries, Taurus, Gemini forward. The precession goes backwards, so it's the age of Aquarius coming up. It's not 2150, it's much sooner than that. Jesus represents the age of Pisces because it's spirituality, faith, psychic ability. He controlled the weather. He's about compassion. It's ruled by the feet. All zodiac signs have a body part rulership, and Jesus rules the feet. So he washed his disciples' feet, and he let the prostitute kiss his feet. It's all about feet. And the Pisces, because Pisces are so sensitive, they're ruled by the feet because they feel all the little pinpricks in life. And that's my dominant sign. Even though I was born February 10th, which is Aquarius, I have Ascendant, Jupiter, and Mercury all in Pisces. So that's a huge part of my identity, combining the spirituality with Aquarius logic. Anyway, so now it's the age of Aquarius coming, ruled by Saturn and Capricorn, or Saturn and Uranus. And then Capricorn, 2,000 years after that, it's just ruled by Saturn. If we go backwards, the age of Aries, it was Moses and the ram's horn. The Aries is the ram. Okay? Taurus was all the bull worship in Egypt. And the Hindus still worship cows today. And then you go back to 10,000 BC, it's the age of Leo. And what was the Sphinx in Egypt is the lion. It wasn't originally a female pharaoh head. It was carved into what was a lion at first. So that Sphinx initially represents the age of Leo. 10,000 years ago is the only time when the Sphinx aligns with the precession, which signifies it was also created the age of Leo. And of course, we know the Egyptians came from a much earlier race of men, and all their stuff was just handed down to them. The Atlanteans, of course. But you're wondering why I'm saying like fourth age, fifth age. Well, the book of Daniel talks about it. Daniel interprets King Nebuchadnezzar's dreams. I'll read it. Daniel 2:31. This is describing the dream. It says, "Behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, and his breast and arms were of silver, and his belly and thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. And thou saw that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of the iron and clay, and brake it to pieces." So the stone of Daniel 2 is going to come down and break down these ages of humanity. Okay? And you see the fifth age is the iron and clay, which is exactly the same as mixing flesh with technology. And it's the age of cyberpunk. We have the mark of the beast in our hands or in our head, and we're always connected to some kind of internet matrix all the time. Okay, instead of it just being a monitor and we're clicking, it's inside of us. Okay, that's a mixing of iron, technology, and clay, flesh. Okay, guys. There we go. And so, yeah, the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So at the fifth age, that's when the stone comes down. Satan is cast down with his reptilian aliens or whatever. They've been hiding on the moon this whole time, waiting for Jesus' grace and mercy to end so the Nephilim can come back. Okay? Sorry, it gets kind of crazy. Let's go into a little more KJV. Yahweh, the weapons of his indignation. Isaiah 13 and 5, KJV. So here. Okay, this is more proof that the end of the fifth age is when Yahweh and his reptilians are coming back. Because Yahweh, Jehovah, deceived the Jews. He made them slaughter millions of people for him. This so-called spiritual, fatherly, perfect, heavenly God wants gold, women, and spoils. That doesn't make any sense, but if you look at the Anunnaki tablets, they all say aliens were the gods who came down who wanted gold, spoils, and women to mate with and mix their DNA. This whole Jehovah Jewish thing is when the aliens were pretending to be gods. The entire Old Testament is aliens pretending to be gods. And that's why Jesus had to come down and say, hey, they said eye for an eye, I say turn the other cheek. But my Father who's in heaven, he's perfect. He's who you should be worshiping, not these things you think were gods. Okay, so anyway, this is Isaiah 13 and 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Heaven is another term for space, guys. They come from the end of space. The Lord, Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl, for the day of the Lord's at hand, and that shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. So it's saying Yahweh, this is just English, it says Lord, but it's Yahweh. Yud He Vav He. It says they, plural, once again, just like in Genesis 1, it says, let us make man in our image. I thought God was one, monotheism. Why is it our image? That's why people are skeptical of the Trinity. Jesus didn't say worship me. He said the Father is greater than I am. It's all back to the Father, the one God who sent Jesus to remind us of him, because the Jews were worshiping aliens. Okay, truth is stranger than fiction. And Isaiah 13 confirms Yahweh is plural. He comes from the end of space, or they come from the end of space, and they have weapons to destroy the whole land. And so, Jesus, right now, we are in the age of grace and mercy. If you believe, you can get the hell out of here. Okay? All right, let's do another example here. Where is it? Luke, where Jesus says, escape what is coming. People are like, oh, there's no rapture, blah, blah, blah. Which one is it? I know it's in Luke. Luke 21:36, I believe. Let's see what we got. Oh. Scroll. So I guess it's not that. Darn it. Ooh, I'm in John. That'll help. 21:36. KJV, please. So people are like, there's no rapture. The word rapture isn't in the Bible. There's no rapture. Well, the concept is there, buddy. Not that the Bible was written in English and the word rapture didn't even exist anyway. So we go to Jesus is talking right now, by the way. Watch, therefore, and pray always that you are accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. Jesus just said we can escape the great tribulation coming if we have the right faith and love and wisdom and all that fun stuff. And truth, that whole thing. It's the age of lies, so if we believe a lie, then we can't, our hearts aren't directed in the right place if we believe a lie. So we have to uncover all the lies first and then use our hearts to go forward. So Jesus literally says, watch and pray that you're accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass. And those who are predestinated. Okay? Romans 8:28. Christians hate this because say, God loves everybody, blah, blah, blah. Well, then why did he create hell? Why did he create hell if he loves everybody? So, Romans 8:28, we know that all these things work together for the good of them that love God and to them who are called according to his purpose. This is italicized because it's not in the Greek. not because it's italicized like some author. I italicize this. No, it's just a translation thing. For whom he did foreknow, God, for whom God did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. And who he predestinated, he called. And who he called, he justified. Who he justified, he also glorified. If God's for us, who can be against us? He didn't even spare his own Son, but delivered him up for us all. And how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Okay? Who's going to lay anything on the charge of God's elect? Yeah, you can kill us, but our souls are eternal. And y'all's souls are going to Sheol. That's the Hebrew word for hell. Whatever it is. Darkness, nothingness, scariness. I don't think it's a bunch of devils with pitchforks putting you in an oven all day. Spiritual terror is worse than physical terror, guys. That's all the martyrs died in a burning flame. Or whatever, however they were killed. So it's not physical terror that hell is. It's going to be emotional and spiritual terror. The mark of the beast just whoop takes your soul. So yeah, we can be raptured because Yahweh and his reptilians are coming back to destroy the whole land. Because at the end of the fifth age, it's going to be mixing of iron and clay. And then the stone of Daniel 2 is going to come down and take it all down. The stone of Daniel 2 and Revelation 9 are the same thing. The fifth trumpets, for the fifth angel sounded, I saw a star fall from heaven unto earth. Okay, that's the devil being cast down during the fifth angel, the fifth age. Saturn, upside down, is a 5, ruled by Satan. The Baphomet Capricorn, ruled by the goat archetype. Capricorn, goat, Baphomet, Satan, transgender shit everywhere. Excuse my French. The Revelation 9. So the star right here is the stone of Daniel 2. The star falling from heaven is the stone of Daniel 2. Okay? It's crazy. He commanded them that all they should not hurt the grass, nor the earth, nor any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads, which is the 144,000, which is the Revelation 14 and 1. It's easy to remember because 14, 144,000. And I looked, and lo, a lampstone on Mount Zion, with him is 144,000, having his Father's name written on their foreheads. Now you and I and their grandma know it's not literally a number, 144,000. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There's 7 billion people, so that kind of sucks. Only 144,000 get raptured, and the rest of the 7 billion people have to go through the Great Tribulation. Who knows? But anyway, there's 144,000 days in a Mayan Baktun, of course. And there's some say there's 144,000 stones in the Egyptian pyramid. That's questionable. But yeah, it's all the same. I know I'm missing something, and I'll put it in the comments or whatever later. But yeah, there's something going on, and we're in the fourth age of grace and mercy right now. And so when Satan's cast down as a UFO invasion, no more grace and mercy. If you're still here, just don't take the mark. I'll see you in heaven. If I'm still here because I need to repent more, I definitely need to pray more. I got a lot of stuff I got to work on myself. We all do. It says people who think they are perfect should be really worried. I know I'm smart or whatever, but that doesn't mean my heart is ever in the right place all the time. Intelligence is not the same thing as wisdom, guys. Most Aquarius needs to check themselves because they're all know-it-alls. But I have all this Pisces in me, so I like the spiritual stuff, and I want to know, oh yeah, my heart is in it, not just my mind. Okay, guys? Anyway. Oh yeah, and I'm the only one to notice this. No one's ever said Saturn is the 5, and people say Jupiter's the 4, but no one's ever said, oh, it's the fourth age because the fifth age of Daniel is coming, and that's Satan coming down on the fifth age, the fifth angel. And I got Little Caesars and these just little, satanic freaking symbols on it, dude. You might say, oh, it's just him picking up the cookie. No, it's satanic symbolism in our media, movies, music, and everywhere. The news, they're all puppets for Satan. If you're a rich... It's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of the needle. All these rich elitists, you think they're going to heaven? Give me a break. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of in a bad mood because I read that THC is still going to be banned in Texas forever, but it's like worse than it was. It used to just be like a ticket, but now it's like maybe a year in jail. Like, what a fucking fascist-ass state. I think I want to move to New Mexico, guys. I think I've had it with Texas. You can have your guns and shit, and I can have my freedom, It's just so sad that we have to make laws suppressing people, but we can get a fifth of Jack Daniels and kill ourselves and overdose on legal drugs and prescription drugs. But you can't have a plant that the Constitution was ratified on cannabis hemp paper 14 years. It was printed on cannabis paper 14 years after it was ratified, guys. So anyway, this whole country's a sham. Weed's only been illegal since 1937. These fucking redneck motherfuckers think that it's like old times again, old-fashioned days, the good old days. No, the good old days, 1936, people were smoking weed. You think Prohibition worked? It created the gangsters and the gun control and the Al Capones and the Federal Reserve and all that shit. It's like the government gives you the problem, and then they're the ones who have a magical solution all of a sudden. Y'all are the ones that started a problem. No one was ever shooting people up and starting gangs and Tommy guns until you took away their alcohol. So they had to have an underground to, deliver. Anyway, did some more AI art. I did like some photorealistic 1800s horror stuff because it's just cool. Who knows what happens? It looks real. Then I did Elvis Cyberpunk just because I was bored. And then some more trippy stuff. But yeah, guys, these are the end times. It's the age of Aquarius, so it's about truth. It's not about faith anymore. We have solid evidence of interesting archetypes that the Freemasons and Illuminati suppress, and they just hide it right in front of us like, oh, it's just some guy picking up a cookie. No, it's the freaking satanic 666 symbol. No biggie. Okay, and then the Republicans want to fucking keep up their drug war, even though we're right next to Mexico and we can make billions of dollars from taxing it. No, let's just keep it illegal so people can live in fucking fear. Anyway, take it easy. Rant over for now.